you're going to get a hell of a lot of car for your money. The pan roof that comes as standard on this car, because this car, in my opinion, represents really, really good value for money. Maybe a little bit smaller than the Tiguan actually.
Say edging near towards the T-Roc in my opinion.
Well, there's the T-Roc. Great timing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, review time, and today we are looking at this, the MG ZS electric. Now, for those car snobs out there, just hang fire, watch the video and then make a decision, because this, let me tell you, is a cracking bit of kit. Although the badge might not be everyone's cup of tea, I've been really impressed with this car. Keep watching to the end, I hope you might change your mind. First thing to point out is this is the model year 19 version, okay? So there is a model year 21, which bizarrely is the next one after the model year 19. There's not a lot of difference between the model year 19, which is what this one is, and the 21. From what I've seen, it's just slight variation on the grille, and I believe it's got a virtual dashboard cockpit. Other than that, very, very minor tweaks, so nothing too major on the changes, but just thought I'd point that one out there. So there's three different types of the MG ZS. You've got the diesel version, the hybrid, and then the all-electric. So obviously, because of this is not a ground-up electric vehicle, which is what is preferable for, you know, those EVs, but like I said, it is a good car. So it's a 45 kilowatt hour battery. The WLTP range on this vehicle is 163 miles. This car literally just rolled off the back of a transporter. The battery is full. In eco mode, it's showing a range of 153 miles. So obviously take that with a pinch of salt. As most people know, with electric vehicles, the weather and the driving style very, very much dictate the range you're going to see in the vehicle. So anything below sort of 5 degrees outside is going to have a big, big impact on the range. Anything above that, you're getting a lot more realistic range to what you'd probably expect, but it's just worth bearing that in mind. So as I said, although it is an MG, and you know, I say that with a pinch of salt, but I know a lot of people get turned off by the MG badge. You're going to get a hell of a lot of car for your money. So bear in mind, all the spec I talk about on this car is absolutely standard, and the OTR for this vehicle is 27,995 here in the UK, after the government grant, which is £3,000, which at the time is still in place. So a shade under 28 grand gets you all this car and all the spec I'm going to talk you through as well. So that's very, very important, because this car, in my opinion, represents really, really good value for money. So as I said, it's got a 45 kilowatt hour battery. 0 to 60 is 8.5 seconds, which is a bit meh, but you know, again, it's an SUV. What do you expect? But I think with these electric vehicles, that first 0 to 30 is going to be quick, because it's just all torque, and then it's going to die off in the latter part of that test. But I just put my foot down coming up the drive here in a safe, you know, responsible manner, of course, and it felt pretty quick and responsive, so don't worry too much about that 0 to 60. So electric vehicle, so let's talk about the charging first of all. It's a Type 2, as all vehicles, all new electric vehicles pretty much are now. I think in fact, I think all manufacturers have pretty much universally said Type 2, that's going to be the way forward until something amazing comes out. Everyone's pretty much nailed on Type 2 as the sort of charging type. So the charging point for the MG is located here, right in the MG badge, which I've said on a couple of other videos. I'm not sure I like it there. I've not actually found out if my theory as to why I don't like it there is correct or not, but I always feel that if it's there, any sort of front impact, so you bump, going to the back of someone at a set of lights, whatever, minor as it might be, is it going to damage the charging port there? And that just sounds expensive, but I could be completely wrong with that, but I'm going with it anyway. So to access the charging point, and we did have a little bit of trouble with this just a second ago, but we were going to edit it out, but you know, so basically you push the MG badge, but you give it a real push, and then it kind of pops it out a little bit, and then you lift that up there. I'm not a big fan of that design. The first thing that comes to my mind, if you're leaving this car in a public charging place, that's quite flimsy, or it feels quite flimsy, and it only takes one wanker just to come along and just go and rip that off, because that's, unfortunately, there's plenty of small-minded people out there and idiots that will do that, unfortunately. Now hopefully, you're in like a large public charging place where there's lots of EVs about, that won't happen. If you're parked at a hotel and there's just one charging point and you're right at the back of the car park and you're not there with the car, I don't know, I'd be worried about that, being up there. I guess you could put it down a little bit like that and have the cable hanging out there.
Yeah.
That's probably what you'd do. I wouldn't like to leave it like that.
No, neither would I.
So, anyway, have a look there. You got Type 2 and then the CCS as well for fast charging. So, with the 7 kilowatt charger, which is, hopefully home charging we've got, 0 to 100% is around 6.5 hours. As always, bear in mind, you're never going to have your car at 0, or you should never have your car at 0 anyway, but it's unlikely. So, realistically, you probably get away with a couple of hours to get it up to where you need to be. Or at a 50 kilowatt charger, 0 to 80% in about 40 minutes. And again, you're not going to be at 0, so yeah, 40 minutes is going to get you a decent bit of charge in there. Let's look around the rest of the car. Let's start with the alloys, shall we? These are the 17-inch diamond cut alloys. Again, as I said right at the start of the video, all standard. I think they look quite nice.
They are. They're really nice there.
I think it works quite nicely in contrast with this colour, which is the Pimbleko blue. I think you pronounce it. Pimbleko. A metallic blue. Looks quite nice.
Is it just me, or are they very similar to the standard wheels on the Newmark 8 GTD?
I'll let you decide. Also, if you're new to the channel or you watch our other videos but you're not subscribed, please just take a second, hit that subscribe button, like the video, all that sort of stuff. It really helps the channel. So again, standard on the car, you've got a rear view camera, which is obviously on a car this size, it's quite helpful for parking. I've had a little play around with that, and again, it looks a really good system. A couple of the safety features on it, it's got blind spot monitoring, so when you're driving up on the motorway and you're going past the car, or a car's going past you, and you notice they've got like a little light in the wing mirror, that's the blind spot. So as you're driving along and a vehicle's coming up on the outside of you, get a little light in the wing mirror to tell you there's a car there, just to avoid any accidents. And you've also got a really cool feature called rear cross traffic assist, and basically what that means is if you're backing out of a driveway or parking space, it's looking out for vehicles coming, or pedestrians or bikes, whatever, coming along this way which you might not see, and give you a little alert to avoid any accidents. So a couple of really cool little safety features, all included as standard on this car. And while we're down here, let's look at the boot, shall we?
Let's do it.
So I would say Tiguan size,
give or take. Maybe
a little bit smaller than the Tiguan actually.
Say edging near towards the T-Roc in my opinion.
Well, there's the T-Roc. Great timing.
Oh yeah. What do you reckon? We'd have to drive them next to each other, wouldn't we, to be fair, but
a shade bigger than the T-Roc, I think.
Yeah, just about.
A little bit bigger, so in between T-Roc and Tiguan. So what have we got? That's a decent size.
Decent size, isn't it?
It's actually 448 litres. So quite big actually. A couple of net storage pockets here at the side, yeah, definitely handy. So the car, this one actually comes with what they call a granny charger, so a 3-pin charger. But you can see here, let's get this out, you can actually make that boot space a little bit narrower and give yourself a bit of extra space here where you can hide away, if you've got a laptop, chuck it in there and it's not visible at all. Whilst we're here, she'll see if you can get the rear seats down and how flat that goes.
Let's do it.
So, not completely flat, but that gives you a good working space there.
Yeah, that's good, that.
Great for tip runs, I'd say. I love going to the tip in this vehicle. That's a really decent space. Like I say, not completely flat, but a decent enough space to get some good usage out of that. And then the last feature around the exterior of the vehicle is the pan roof that comes as standard on this car, fully opening, and I think that it's such a sought after option now. The amount of customers we have asking, has it got a panoramic roof? Has it got a panoramic roof? And to get it as standard is just such a unique offering. I think that's going to be a big selling point for this vehicle.